Capital News tonight. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa expresses dissatisfaction on costs incurred for the Kidichi Mwanamtoti Kidichi Toangoma Road construction project. The former High District Commissioner Lengai Olesabaya completes his defense in Arusha Resident Magistrate Court. And in sports, the government urges Premier League clubs to bring quality foreign players in order to challenge local players. Good evening. This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has expressed dissatisfaction on the construction project costs incurred from the Kidichi Mwanamtoti 1.8-kilometer road that cost 5.4 billion shillings, as well as the Kidichi Toangoma 3.25-kilometer road costing 13.5 billion shillings. He has directed the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau (PCCB) to ensure all those involved in misappropriation and waste of funds who have already been dismissed to be taken to court before August 20th of this year.
Hapa panatakiwa hili jambo tujue. Mkurugenzi gani alikopa bilioni 19 na ujifunze kwa ajili ya nini? Halafu mkataba ulisema wana grace period ya miezi 6 na kuendelea. Wao wamelipa mwezi wa pili, hela walitoa wapi kama hawajitumia zile za mwana? Na kwa nini waliharakisha kuzilipa? Na je, ziliingia benki? 2, tafuta mweka hazina aliyehusika kuikopa hiyo fedha bilioni 19. Arudishwe Temeke kuja kujibu hili. Hawezi kuhamishwa huko akiwa na matatizo na kitendo kilichofanyika manispaa. Wale wenye shida wale wote wamehamishwa haraka. Kila anayekuja hapa na miezi 2 na mwezi 1 na miezi 3 mlikuwa mnakimbiza haya, mlikuwa mnajua. Mwanasheria unajua kila kitu. Leo unasema mradi huu ujui na unajengwa huko chini ya manispaa yako. Na hakuna mkataba unaoweza kuingiwa ndani ya halmashauri bila wewe kujua. Alafu unasema unajua na unasema mimi nilikuwa naandika madokezo, ulikuwa unaandika madokezo na nini na wewe ujui. Baraka ujui kitu. Huyu akae pembeni kwanza. Hajui, hawezi kutuongozea halmashauri yetu. Alafu anadanganya na badilika, nilikuwa naandika dokezo. Alafu anatetewa, huyu ndio alikuwa mpiganaji, alikuwa anapigania nini?
And the first accused in the armed robbery case, former High District Commissioner Lengai Olesabaya, has completed presenting his evidence in Arusha Resident Magistrate Court before Senior Resident Magistrate Odira Amoro. Led by his defense attorney Duncan Ula, Sabai told the court that he was forced to become a refugee in his own country due to 2 murder attempts and that the allegations against him are manipulative and political. He went on to state that the charges against him have been fabricated and the police and prosecutors have been deceived and provided with false information due to the type of politics in Arusha and Hai. He also said there was no CCTV evidence showing people with weapons and that this is proof that such an incident did not occur. Sabai told the court that the 11th witness himself as well as the 2nd and 7th witness went to look at CCTV cameras and saw that they were directed towards the wall and therefore were of no help. In the case number 105 of 2021, the accused will be cross-examined by state prosecutors after having completed his defense. And the National Food Reserve Agency, NFRA, Sangeo Zone in Ruvuma region, has officially launched the maize purchase season from farmers at 500 shillings per kilo, with some farmers claiming that the government has set aside a small number of tons to purchase, which is 32,000 tons, in comparison to over 326,242 tons currently in surplus.
Kama nilivyosema, kama lengo letu ni kununua tani 32,000 kwa mkoa wa Ruvuma. Our goal were 32,000 tons for Ruvuma region. Honorable Regional Commissioner, purchasing is done in 2 areas. Purchasing is being performed through centers as well as farmers groups.
Ndia ambayo yako mbele yako ni robo na kiasi kikubwa ambacho cha mahindi ambayo.
These maize are just a little bit. A large amount is still in their homes. The government should support us so that we can bring more tons, and even if it's possible to find other individual markets, as long as the prices are presented by the government.
Ni lazima wizara kupitia wakala huyu.
The ministry must, through this agency, continue to work together to expand the market scope so that farmers can continue to produce additional. Thank you very much. For the 3rd year consecutively continuing to produce additional food for the whole nation.
Pongezi sana kwa mwaka wa 3 mfululizo kuendelea kuzalisha chakula cha ziada kwa taifa zima.
And the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has today arrived in Lilongwe, Malawi, to take part in the 41st Southern African Development Community Heads of State meeting that will be held on the 17th and 18th of August, whereby Malawi will be confirmed as the head of SADC for the next year. Immediately after her arrival at Kamuzu International Airport, President Hassan was received by Malawi's Minister of Development and Social Welfare, Patricia Kaliati. A total of 4,105 students have been selected to continue with their Form 5 studies in the second selection phase, which include 3,887 boys and 218 girls, with the President's Office for Regional Administration and Local Government directing students to report to the schools they have been selected to from today to August 30th of this year.
Vaccination is important for my health. It protects me and my health. People should come and get vaccinated. We should not listen to some people's words that the vaccine will cause blood clotting. We have seen top leaders being vaccinated, and they are an example for all of us.
Mwitikio ni mzuri kwa vijana, mwitikio ni mzuri, lakini bado tunahitaji uhamasishaji kuendelea, lakini mwitikio sasa hivi ni mzuri na unajitokeza. Na vijana mara nyingi wanakuja kuanzia mida ya saa 6 na kuendelea baada ya kutoka kwenye majukumu yao ya kazi. Walozungumza kwenye mitandao sio swala kweli, ikiwa mimi ni shuhuda mmoja hapo ambaye tayari nimechanja toka tarehe 14, sijaona mabadiliko yote kwenye mwili wangu. Nadhani najiona tu niko vizuri tu zaidi, na kwa sababu najiendelea kujiprotect dhidi ya COVID.
Apologies, we will go back to the story where a total of 4,105 students have been selected to continue with their Form 5 studies in the second selection phase, with the President's Office directing them to report to the schools they've been selected to from today until August 30th.
Kati ya wanafunzi waliochaguliwa, wanafunzi 499 wakiwemo wavulana 424 na wasichana 75 wamepangiwa tahasusi za sayansi na hisabati, na wanafunzi 3604 wakiwemo wavulana 3461 na wasichana 143 wamepangiwa tahasusi za masomo ya sanaa na biashara. Hivyo mwanafunzi ambaye atashindwa kuripoti hadi tarehe 30 August atakuwa amepoteza nafasi yake. Aidha, ni waombe wazazi na walezi waelewe kwamba hakutakuwa na nafasi yoyote ya mwanafunzi kubadilishiwa shule, kwa kuwa shule walizopangiwa ni zile ambazo zilikuwa na nafasi kwa tahasusi husika.
Unidentified individuals have sabotaged Tanzania Electric Supply Company TANESCO by stealing equipment, including wires from over 50 transformers in Geita region, causing a loss of over 60 million shillings and constant power outages.
wimbi kubwa la watu ambao sio waaminifu wanaiba vifaa katika zile transformer. Mpaka sasa kuna transformer 50 ambazo zimehudumiwa na
Suddenly, there is a trend of unscrupulous people stealing transformer materials. So far, 50 transformers have been sabotaged, where more than 65 million shillings were used to repair the transformers. We're calling on people to report whoever is not employee of TANESCO found doing any technical thing near TANESCO infrastructures.
Wanachoma sana zile nguzo. Kwa hiyo wanapochoma zile nguzo zikianguka umeme ukatika. Sasa sisi kama watu wa masoko, nguzo inapoanguka maana yake hatuuzi bidhaa yetu.
Na sisi tunategemea huo umeme, unaweza kuwa una firiji, ile firiji unaweka barafu.
We are depending on electricity in doing small business like selling ice blocks. When there is no power, we are left with nothing to do and fail to earn living.
The problem of elephant invasions in 6 villages in Busega district, Samir region that borders Serengeti National Reserve, West Zone and Kijereshi Forest Reserve has been resolved after Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute TAWIRI and the Wildlife Conservation Authority came up with a new strategy to address the issue.
Tembo ni mnyama ambaye anakereka sana na mmea pilipili kwa sababu ya kemikali.
Elephants are animals that do not like chili because of phytochemicals available from the plant. The irritation or burning sensation in the mouth or eyes, ears or in another part of its bodies cause them to stay away from the plant, and hence fencing farms with chili plants will definitely chase away the animals.
Kwa maana kwamba tembo wanakuja kwenye magala yao ambao wameweka chakula.
Elephants goes to warehouses and houses where they store food. Due to poor construction materials used, it is easy for the animals to break in. That is why concrete blocks are ideal. There are a lot of opportunities that are results of animals' disasters, like producing these blocks. It has given you experience of making durable construction materials for your house.
That is all for the national news. International news is next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
the show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
In international news, thousands of Afghans desperate to leave the country thronged Kabul airport, where 5 people were killed on Monday after Taliban fighters seized the capital, prompting the U.S. military to suspend evacuations to clear the airfield.
The United States temporarily halted all evacuation flights from Kabul to clear people who had converged on the airfield. Taliban officials have declared the 20-year war over and issued statements aimed at calming panic that has been building in Kabul as the group who governed from 1996 to 2001 routed the US-backed Afghan army as foreign forces withdrew. President Ashraf Ghani fled the country on Sunday as the Taliban entered Kabul virtually unopposed, saying he wanted to avoid bloodshed.
And business tycoon and opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema has been declared winner of Zambia's hotly contested presidential election, defeating incumbent Edgar Lungu with 2,810,757 votes against Lungu's 1,814,201 votes. Here's more.
The win sparked celebrations on the streets after an election marred by sporadic violence. The election marked the 6th time Hichilema had run for the presidency and the 3rd time he had challenged incumbent Lungu. Lungu, who has been in office for 6 years, faced electorate amid growing resentment about the rising cost of living and crackdowns on dissent in the country. International election observers have commended the transparent and peaceful organization of polls, but condemned the restrictions on freedom of assembly and movement during the election campaign.
Citizens in Beni, North Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo have urged the United Nations to help address the issue of security in the area, as many people have continued to be killed by alleged ADF rebels. The call comes as President Felix Tshisekedi authorized the deployment of American anti-terrorism forces to boost the Congolese army's fight against the ADF.
Soldiers have been coming from Kenya, Tanzania and elsewhere, but nothing has changed ever since. If they've asked for support from Kenya, that means that our president is determined to restore peace in the DRC, because they're coming to add more strength to our military force. Then we welcome them to help Congo and not otherwise.
Salama ila wasikuje katika lengo ya kutia pesa katika mifuko zao.
In Kenya, the coalition's flag bearer, the One Kenya Alliance, are meeting in Naivasha to review the report of a 12-member technical committee tasked with finding a workable strategy. The report entails analysis of each candidate and the possible scenarios that would guarantee victory in the 2022 polls.
Asalala. Fanya kila juhudi huku tukijiandaa kuchukua uongozi wa nchi hii mwaka ujao, wakati kama huu tukijiandaa kuchukua uongozi wa Kenya bila kusita, bila kuogopa yeyote ila Mwenyezi Mungu.
Najua ya kwamba wale watu wa seminar na retreat na conference wanataka tena kuanza hiyo mambo ya seminar, ati wanakutana waweze kupanga vile wanaume 5-6 wanaweza kugawana mamlaka na vyeo. Mimi nataka niwaambie kwa unyenyekevu kwamba wakati mnapanga kugawana mamlaka na vyeo, kuna Wakenya zaidi ya milioni 15 ambao wanatarajia nafasi za kazi, nafasi ya biashara, nafasi ya kuzalisha chakula, ndio tuweze kutembea zote kama Wakenya.
That's where we leave off with international news. Business news follows after this break.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and now at Business News. Zanzibar Investment Promotion Agency ZIPA has said it has registered 559 investment projects which are being implemented in Unguja and Pemba since President Hussein Ali Mwinyi took over leadership of Zanzibar.
Today we have signed 8 projects, but we have already signed 58 projects of different sectors, many in tourism, agriculture, real estate and industries.
Makubaliano haya ya awali yatarahisisha kwa wawekezaji kutoka Oman.
These previous agreements will make it easier for investors from Oman and the government to hold direct negotiations, and also providing opportunities for investors to start working where they are already here in Zanzibar, because there is already a prior agreement.
Cashew farmers in Mkoto-Kuyana Ward, Lindi region, have urged the government to increase distribution of inputs, packaging, sacks, as well as oversee prices so that farmers can benefit from the crop.
tumepata muda tofauti na mazingira jinsi yalivyo. Yani hali ya kiuchumi.
We have received the medicine, but the economic situation is bad. We thank the government, but we ask them to bring more medicine so that we can fight against these diseases. But they also should bring the packages on time so that we can pack our cases and supply them to the stores.
Hiyo ni 80% ya mahitaji. Kwa hiyo tulikuwa tumelenga kwamba ifikapo mwisho wa mwezi wa 8
That's 8% of the needs. Our goal is that by the end of the month we have all the bags. Until now the number of bags are many and enough to start the next season. On the side of the water pills, beginning with sulfur, which we are offloading today, the need is 21,000 tons. Until the 5th of August, we had 7,100 tons. But today we offloaded 2,800 tons, and until now, we have only received 14,600 tons.
Mpaka sasa hivi, idadi ya sulfur ambayo tumeshaipokea hapa nchini ni tani 14,600.
Package material production factory in Songea District, Ruvuma region has started production activities on trial with expectations that once it begins full operations, it will create employment as well as address the problem of lack of quality packaging products in the region as well as the southern regions of Lindi and Mtwara.
Inaiunga serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
These efforts are for supporting government's plan of building industrial economy. I dared to establish this factory in order to help farmers challenge of packages.
Kikubwa ni kwamba hichi kiwanda kimeanza mwaka huu katika mkoa wetu wa Ruvuma.
This factory began production this year in Ruvuma region. It came along with unlimited opportunities for youth in the region, including employment.
Nyingi sana katika kiwanda hichi kwa sababu katika mikoa ya kusini ni viwanda vichache sana ambavyo vipo katika kitengo cha vifungashio.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose and then.
And now in sports. The Minister of Information, Culture, Arts and Sports, Innocent Bashungwe, has emphasized that Premier League clubs have been told to bring quality foreign players to the league so that they can challenge the local players.
Sidhani kama ni sahihi kusema nchi yetu.
I don't think it is right to make our country an island, to not search for talents which we can mix with our local talents so they can motivate our players. I, as the minister responsible, say we need to balance this. And I, in association with the Sports Council in Tanzania, have told them to follow those guidelines. We want the registration to be that which will be of a positive impact to our local players.
Serengeti Breweries, in association with the Arts Council of Tanzania, BASATA, have launched a campaign to search for the best DJs, whereby youth have been urged to invest in the skill.
We expect to have a total of 5,200 participants from all over the country for a period of 3 months starting today. To get proper information about the Serengeti Light Take a Bite Out of Life competition, we advise our customers to listen to the radio, and to visit our social media pages of Serengeti Light.
Wenye vipaji kuchangamkia fursa hii inayotolewa na bia yao pendwa.
And Azam FC have named the former Yanga chair, Dr. Jonas Tiboroha, as the new sports director.
We are presenting Dr. Jonas Tiboroha to be the director of football for Azam FC. This means that he will be the director of all issues of football for our team, Azam FC. So him, together with me, the whole administration, as well as the technical bench and the team as a total, will be working together from now on.
And spectators will not be allowed at the Tokyo Paralympic Games because of the city's ongoing struggle with coronavirus, organizers have confirmed. Here is more.
The Japanese government has proposed expanding and extending the country's state of emergency with the Paralympics beginning on 24th of August. Organizers confirmed spectators would not be allowed at events in Tokyo, Saitama, Chiba and Shizuoka because of infection rate in those regions. School children will still be allowed to attend at the request of local authorities or school administrators. Fans were barred from venues in the capital for the Olympics, with events held in some other regions allowed up to 50% capacity.
And Nico Ali Walsh paid tribute to his grandfather Muhammad Ali as he won his debut professional bout wearing a pair of shorts he had given him.
The 21-year-old made easy work of the fight, knocking down Jordan Wicks after 70 seconds. The middleweight fight in Catoosa, Oklahoma on Saturday night was eventually stopped before the end of the first round. Ali Walsh, who is studying for a business degree, is the son of Ali's daughter, Rashida Ali. After the win, Ali Walsh celebrated in the ring with Bob Arum, who also promoted 27 of his grandfather's fights. Ali Walsh is signed to Arum's top-rank company.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook